Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Frontier Patriot. Today we have another Tune Chat. I'm Ron Rayfield.
I'm Justine Dorn.
And this is Mish Mish, our somewhat annoying cat. She's very needy.
She's the most neediest cat. It turns out she's like a human baby. I've never had a cat like this. She always wants to be held.
Yes.
In a weird way. I mean 24/7.
She likes to be cradled.
Yeah, and rocked. Like a baby.
She even burped. She's like...
She burps a lot.
And she farted once, too.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So she's happy. She's purring because she's being held.
She likes when we're in here cooking. And we found out she likes mushrooms. She likes the mushrooms. And she likes salty things.
She loves salt. She was licking a spoon that I used to put out some salt. And she was just licking the spoon.
And she likes mashed potatoes. I gave her just a little bit. All right, Kitty. You go do kitty things. And
yes.
We're gonna talk to the world here.
That's right.
No.
So today we have some creamy mushrooms, and we have what was called a meat pudding, which the name doesn't sound too appealing, does it? A meat pudding, but it is just mashed potatoes and pork, and then for dessert we have apples and nuts.
Yep.
And we have water.
Don't worry, the cat is fine. She's just...
really needy.
She wants to go outside.
Do you want to let her outside?
She just came in.
Okay, so be it.
But, hey, before we go any farther, if you want to see Justine make this meal, please go to our main channel. That's Early American. Over there, we eat it. That's your cue.
Over there, we cook it, and here we eat it. That's right.
Over there, we cook it.
Over here, we eat it. Yep.
So let me get served up here. And
I already tried this. It is so good.
It's still kind of hot.
Yeah. Stoneware.
And do we have mushroom ketchup today?
We do.
I think this calls for some mushroom ketchup.
Okay. Here's your papers. You can talk about later. Let me go fetch some.
Thank you, dear. Oh, this smells so good.
It is really good. I tried it, and this recipe is Justine approved. Sneaking one in.
I sneak one in.
And I have gravy, just good old brown gravy.
I'll get some of these too.
Oh yeah, I like mushrooms. Mushrooms are healthy for you. They're full of B vitamins.
Yeah.
Good for your hair and skin.
Thank you.
There you go.
Give her a little
shake.
That's so good. It's okay for those of you who don't know what mushroom ketchup is. Think of it as a Worcestershire A1 type soy sauce kind of thing mix from a long time ago.
It don't really taste like mushrooms to me.
No.
No, it doesn't.
Would you like some?
No, I'm stuck with the gravy. I'm good with the gravy.
No, you can't have none.
She's over there.
All right. Well, it's my turn to say the blessing.
Okay, thank you.
Lord, thank you for this food. Thank you for this beautiful woman sitting next to me. We hope that everybody this holiday season is thankful and can be thankful and is nice to everybody. And yeah, amen. I just keep it simple.
Amen. I just keep hearing the cat going crazy.
She's got food.
Yo, she's got food and whatnot. She's just, it turns out that she don't care about the material things in life. She just wants love and a lot of love. She's the neediest cat I've ever had.
Well, we're ready to dive into this? We
are ready to dive into this. I think she might have some separation anxiety issues too, because whenever we have to leave the cabin to do something, when we walk away, we hear all the way down there, meow, meow. She's calling for us. And the same when we return. Even though we're super far away and we're walking towards the cabin, we just hear meow, meow in the distance.
That's delicious.
It is really good.
I love mashed potatoes and I love pork loin. So we started with like a pork loin, big old chunk of it. You chop that up. That's so good.
That is really good.
It's very good.
Yeah. So our review on this 200-year-old dish is it receives a
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. This is great. You actually really do need to make this at home.
Yeah.
And I thought this was going to be very simple, and boring. You know, it's just salt and pepper.
Well, it is simple.
Yeah, I thought that this was going to be a really simple dish because it's only seasoned with salt and pepper. I thought that wasn't going to be good.
But it's not boring.
But it's really, really good. It said to use pork that has a little extra fat on it, so I think as it cooks, it kind of flavors the whole mashed potatoes. And don't be skimpy with the salt or the pepper because that's where you're getting a lot of the flavor from. And it turned out remarkably good. It doesn't taste like I only added salt and pepper. It tastes like a 5-star dish.
It's very good.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Now you'd say this would be similar to a modern shepherd pie, right?
Yeah, a little.
Or to a shepherd pie.
Yeah, a little bit because the original recipe said you can either cook it with mutton or you can cook it with pork. I only had pork, and that's what most Americans have access to.
Right. That's one of the cheaper meats, anyways.
Right. It's one of the cheaper meats in America right now, and back then.
Beef has always been expensive.
Because it takes a lot of fuel to feed a cow to slaughter weight.
Hey, thank you everybody for all the Christmas cards we've been getting. I think we wrote like 55 Christmas cards the other day.
Yes,
Return
we did.
cards.
Yeah, and we don't just sign them and ship them out. We will write you like a whole message and everything.
Yeah, a couple sentences.
So boy, that take a few hours, but it's worth it. Yeah, it's fun, and we really appreciate all the cards that we've gotten.
We were gonna string them up, but there's just no room for that, and it would be hard because I'm sure there's gonna be more coming. That was just first week after we made the post of, hey, we're making Christmas cards. Send us one.
Yeah, guys. So send us Christmas cards if you want to. Though if you send it after a certain point, we'll reply to it, but you might not get our reply before Christmas. So keep that in mind. But we'll still reply. So we had to spend a lot of money on stamps.
Oh yeah.
For that.
Before we went far. So we've had letters from Europe, from Australia. We got our first letter from South Africa. It was actually a postcard.
Right.
And, hey, what are you doing? Get away from my pie.
Shoot.
Down. Down, kitty. Jump. Down. Just jump. Good job. And so we've never mailed anything to South Africa before, so we sent you a return. I put like 5 stamps on that thing. I hope it reaches you.
Right.
Good luck. I've never heard back from the people in Australia or Europe, so I hope they all reach our return letters.
Good luck and Godspeed when we put that letter in the mailbox.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we went through a lot of stamps, and that got me curious. When did we start using stamps? At least here in America. I didn't look up Europe, just America. Turns out the first stamps were available in America in 1847.
Oh, so the 1840s we had the first stamps.
About 20 years in our future.
And the first ones had who on them?
So the first ones had Benjamin Franklin and George Washington. So before that, I think you just maybe paid the post rider your money.
Yeah, who was taking your post?
Yeah, there was no stamp. It was just, here's the address where it's going, here's some money. So the stamp's a good idea, though.
Oh, yeah. This is a good idea. This is good.
I like it. I love it.
You would not think it would be, like I said, but it really is good. And we baked it for an hour at about what we think is 350 degrees. But in the last 5 minutes or so, we put some butter on top to really brown it.
I got it real pretty golden.
Yeah, you can also put some suet on top of it. Actually, the original receipt recommended suet. It was a recommendation. It doesn't say you have to do that. It said if you want it to be crispy, add suet. But we didn't have suet today, so we just went with the butter route. And you do what you gotta do at home because that's the reality of what they did 200 years ago, too.
That's right.
You already finished your first plate, Ron? How long was that? 5 minutes, maybe?
Probably.
Are you going to go in for another plate?
I'm going to, but I'm thirsty. I forgot to pour up some water first.
Ooh. Well, I can help you.
Well, thank you. She works me. She'll feed me, but she don't give me any drink.
Oh. What kind of a woman am I? What a sad life you have.
Well, hey. Speaking of George Washington and Ben Franklin, guess who's related to them both?
Did you know that Ron is related to George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and John Hancock?
No, not John Hancock. Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson?
I hold here in my hand these documents.
All three?
That we researched. I mean, it's funny how this happens. We're filling out Christmas cards. Next thing you know, George Washington and Ben Franklin stamps. The next thing you know, you're looking up genealogy, and voila. Alright, are you guys ready for this? Okay, on my father's side, Rayfield. There are two names. There's Boone, which goes to my grandmother.
Daniel Boone.
Daniel Boone.
So he's related to Daniel Boone,
yes,
too.
That's a story for another day. This is bigger. And then there's Rayfield on my grandfather's side. So we traced Rayfield all the way back. And let's see, should I start at the very beginning or start at the latest one? My great-grandpa, or should I start with like the 7th grade?
Let's start with the latest one.
Okay. So my great-grandfather, Hansel Rayfield, he passed away in 2006. He was a World War II vet, very nice man. Anyways, he was born in 1919. His father's name was Andrew Rayfield, William Andrew Rayfield, and he was born in 1879.
Okay.
Alright, so we're working our way back. He had a father whose name was George Washington Rayfield.
You guys thought he was really related to George Washington?
I mean, technically I am.
But not the George Washington.
This is George Washington Rayfield.
Because apparently people still used to name their kids George Washington in the 1800s.
And he was born in 1855, and he was my third great-grandfather. And he had two brothers. Well, actually, he had like 7 brothers, but only 2 other ones had the patriotic names. Ben Franklin and Andrew Jackson. Rayfield.
Benjamin
So my
Franklin Rayfield.
My third great-grandfather is George Washington. My third great-uncle is Ben Franklin. And my other third great-uncle is Andrew Jackson.
Rayfield.
But hey, we're a patriotic family.
Yeah, even going back to the 1800s, whoever the dad was of all these boys, he was the most patriotic man. He named his son, George Washington Rayfield.
I know, I'm starting to think now, you know.
Benjamin Franklin Rayfield?
When that time comes, is it worth carrying on? I'm the third. Do I want to do Ronald Richard Rayfield the fourth? Or should I... George Washington. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Anyways, while we're on the topic of genealogy, I was able to trace it back to my 7th great. So here we go. 4th great-grandfather. His name was John Carter Rayfield. He was born in 1816. His daddy, my 5th great-grandfather, was James Rayfield. He was born in 1797 in Kentucky. And my 6th great-grandfather name was Isaac Rayfield. He was born in 1748 in North Carolina. And then his daddy, my 7th great-grandfather, 1697, William Rayfield in Burham, Kent, England. So yes, I am British, unfortunately.
Yes, he is originally British from both sides,
but hey,
through and through.
George Washington was redcoat at one point.
Yeah, but then he switched sides.
He switched, okay, so cut me some slack. So that's pretty cool. That's as far back as we went with our research without spending money.
Right, it was all free.
But we did find a document that somebody had done, probably in the 1950s, and it was 7 pages on the Rayfields. So the story is we come from England.
From Kent.
Yeah, from Kent. That's in England. We end up in Virginia, North Carolina area. We go to Kentucky, and then we come to Missouri and settle in what is now called Reynolds County in Ellington, Missouri. And that's where my great-grandfather was born. And where my grandfather was born.
You know what's incredible? I thought about it. Your family hasn't really moved that much.
No.
since the 18th century, since they first came to the U.S.
They made one move when they were in the U.S. from the East Coast to Missouri.
Because they had to, because when you came via boat, obviously you're not going to come to Missouri, you go to the coast.
Right. Now, it says they came through Kentucky, but that was only for maybe 10 years, so they were probably trying to get somewhere, and, you don't get there back then like that.
No, there's no planes back then.
Right. So you go, and it's like, okay, we'll stay here for a while, and things happen, But anyways, it says that William was from England. Here, is what she has on here. It says his wife had died in England, and he brought with him 2 sons and 2 young bondsmen with him. These men were to work for Mr. Rayfield long enough to reimburse him of their passage on the ship.
So they were indentured servants.
Yes. He bought a plantation, and since he did not believe in slavery...
He was an abolitionist.
Yeah, he was. He paid the men to work. The former owner of this land had moved away, leaving 2 elderly slaves, a man and a woman, who were too old to work, and they weren't worth anything at auction. These 2 were frightened by being left behind, that Mr. Rayfield took them in and clothed them and fed them and gave them a place to stay and said, you are free. He helped them obtain the freedom papers for them, and he paid them to work for what kind of work they could do. It doesn't say
when was this? Like, when did he come to America?
It says early 1700s.
Okay, John Carter Rayfield.
No, that's the guy born in 1816.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his granddad.
Oh, his grandfather.
Which would have been his great-grandfather. This was done in 1950s, so it's not as accurate as the ones that I have written here that I have found with modern research. So when she says grandfather, 60 years ago in this document, it was really his great-grandfather who came from England.
So to summarize, a guy was in England, and his wife died in England. He came over to the Americas with 2 indentured servants who were to work for him as a bondsman until they paid off debt. So he came to the U.S., and eventually he settled on a farm, and on that farm were 2 elderly black individuals who were hiding.
A man and a woman.
Yeah, it sounds like they were an old married couple. And they were hiding from the new owner because they didn't know if he was a good man or a bad man. And so they hid on the land. I don't know how many acres this was, but imagine, they were just hiding there. And eventually he found them and he said, "Why are you hiding?" And it turns out he was an abolitionist. And so he said, "I'll give you a job if you want, so you can earn your keep in this world."
Right.
And so I think they just had, kind of indoor jobs for him. And
it didn't say their age, it just said elderly.
The elderly.
So anyways, that's the story of the
Rayfields. And he made them free.
Yeah.
So he got them paperwork right away so they'd be free. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible that your family hasn't really moved that far. And even on the other side, Daniel Boone, he died in Defiance, Missouri, which is a town with a really interesting name, right? Mm-hmm. But that's in the area too. It's still it's kind of in the St. Louis area.
Now, Daniel Boone is not my great-great-great-granddaddy. He's probably an uncle or cousin.
Right.
Is what I've been told.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the book personally. That I think my great aunt is in possession of the book that has everything in it.
Okay.
She doesn't live around here. She's a couple hours away. So one day I'll have to get that and look through it because there's 500 people related to Daniel Boone.
Oh yeah.
There's 500 people related to this guy here that I'm related to. I have no idea who they are. People, they spread out because what was there, 11 children? Each generation?
Yeah,
it was crazy.
He showed me his family tree and all these people, each one of his great-grandpas and so on, they had 11, 15 kids.
Right, and sometimes they remarried because their wife or their husband died, so it just kept on, spiderwebbing out.
Right. A lot of them moved to Texas in the Victorian period.
A lot of Texas ones, yeah.
Yeah, the 1880s or so, a lot of the kids, 1 out of the 15 kids, they moved to Texas for some reason. But I guess there was a huge migration to Texas in the late 1800s. So you're related to George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and Daniel Boone.
And Andrew Jackson.
I feel like I'm with a celebrity.
Just the ring.
Oh, Your Highness. I'm in the company of a celebrity. Wow, half of that's gone. Where'd this go?
What's right here? It's about to go in here.
Could I have the dessert, please?
Yes. So you're probably wondering, what in the world is that behind you, Justine?
You mean this elephant in the room that's been staring at you the whole time and you've been wondering what in the world that is?
That is an exotic Christmas fruit bush that I made.
It's called a fruit tree, which sounds really...
Stupid.
Like, yeah, well, duh, it's a fruit tree. But, gosh, I don't even know if I'm brave enough to move that thing over here.
Dumb. It weighs like 35 pounds.
It is very heavy, but Ron made it.
Yep, we went to the fort last weekend. They had a little Christmas market there, and they were also doing classes, and they asked if I wanted to go make one of these, and I said, sure, why not?
Right.
And, so it's got a bed of pine sprouts on it, and then there's a cone with nails on it.
It's a wooden cone with nails
And you stick the apples on it.
Yeah, you just kind of stab the apples or lemons or whatever you're using.
I can bring it over here carefully.
Oh.
Well, maybe not. Anyways, you stick the apples on it, and then you take boxwood, which is the little greenery stuff in between. Oh, be careful.
I'm going to do it.
Maybe right here.
I'm going to do it.
Leave this with me. Thank you.
This is very heavy.
Yeah.
Because the frame itself, under all this fruit, is solid wood.
Steady.
Ooh, steady.
There we are.
Ron made this, and it's incredibly expensive.
So, like I said, we've got some pine here. These are boxwood. These are apples, obviously. What else we got
Grapes.
Here? Yeah, grapes.
Multicolored grapes, red and green grapes.
We got some rosemary.
Rosemary.
The sage fell off on the way home. This side, there's some cinnamon sticks and some anise.
Anise.
Or anise. Sorry. Not the easiest thing to maneuver.
Cinnamon sticks.
Pineapple.
This is the top of a pineapple.
Yes.
So there isn't a whole pineapple, it's just the top.
That'd be a giant pineapple.
Right. He just cut off the top of one.
And then an orange with cloves stuck in it. And that's just sitting up there. And let me tell you, when I was done making this, my hands,
they
smelled so good. From the grapes and the pineapple and the pine and the
That's a beautiful smell.
Yeah, it's really nice. So anyways, they did a class on these. It was really fun to do. And they let us take them home. And so these would have been put out on a dinner table for a big party. Obviously, not out here on the frontier, but...
No, if you were a very wealthy person...
If you were George Washington, you would have had it on your dinner table.
As a centerpiece.
For your big dinner.
Right.
I mean, you can...
But being that he is related to George Washington and Daniel Boone and Benjamin Franklin, he was able to afford it.
You can just eat it, too.
Yeah, you just eat right off of it.
I love grapes.
I like grapes, too. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's like 30 pounds.
It is. Well,
you probably won't even be able to see me behind that.
Get this out of the way before we knock it over here. And modern thinking is a huge waste. I hate wasting food, and so I'm gonna eat that. I'll probably dig in on that tonight, but.
Well, I will say people were shockingly wasteful with their food back then if you were wealthy.
Right. But they might have ate some of that too, you know.
Yeah,
it's an edible. Edible arrangement is what it is.
Yeah, or they would have, at the end of the party, just brought it downstairs and the servants would have eaten off of it.
Right. But that was pretty neat to do.
Right. This apple has interesting stripe on it. That's just a coincidence.
Wow.
It's just...
Maybe it's poisonous. Don't eat it.
Oh, I'll eat it
even
faster.
No.
Finally, sweet release. Oh, still alive.
So we mentioned this last week, but I'll mention it again. There's a big dance coming up.
Yeah.
In February 4th in St. Genevieve. It's called the King's Ball. If you've been to one of these things, they're the big dances where everybody's involved.
They're historical dances.
It's historical dances, yes. And there's an MC calling the moves out for you too. Kind of like a do-si-do.
There's a dance master.
That's it, yeah, dance master. Yeah.
Yep, so they'll tell you what to do. That's how historical dances were. You're not just left to your own devices. There was always a dance master at balls that would announce every single move that you had to do.
To the left.
Take it back now, y'all.
One hop this time.
Bonk.
Left foot, let's stomp.
Bonk.
Right foot, let's stomp.
Charlie Brown, whatever that means.
No idea.
No one ever knew what that meant. Cha-cha, real smooth. Yeah, so that's how historical dancing is. There's a dance master that tells you every single step you have to do. So if you're a little nervous about that, don't worry. It's not one of those things where you show up and everyone's like, oh, you don't know how to dance? You can't sit at my table. No, it's not like that at all. Everyone doesn't know. So we all need a dance master to tell us what to do.
Right.
And everyone figures it out right away.
It's fun.
It's really fun.
Most of it's follow the leader kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have one more thing. Oh, yeah. Can't forget to say that.
What, Ron?
I'm going to chew and I'll say it.
Well, that's going to take a while. You've been chewing this whole video.
Alright. I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to Frontier Patriot and made this channel what it is.
Thank you.
Me and Justine deeply appreciate it. Because without you, there's nothing here.
Without you, we wouldn't be able to afford cat food.
Yes.
So thank you.
Because we are now at 50,000 people
That's right.
here on Frontier Patriot.
50,000 subscribers. Thank you, guys.
And this channel's sole purpose is to be a behind-the-scenes blogging of Ron and Justine. As you see, we give our food reviews and sometimes skill videos whenever I have time to do some manly historical things. But it's very rare. But these are fun. I love doing these, and you guys seem to enjoy it, so we're going to keep doing them.
200-year-old food reviews? I mean, why not?
What could go wrong?
Yeah, doesn't that sound fun? Well, it does to you. That's why you're here, right? And we really appreciate it. So thank you. We got 50,000 subscribers on Frontier Patriot now.
I never thought we would actually get 50,000, to be honest with you. I thought it would topple out at like 20.
Well, it's just slowly going up and up, so you're going past 50 now. I mean, you might make it to 100 someday.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If we keep entertaining you guys.
Hopefully. That'd be great. We consider all of you to be real good friends of ours, and I've never had this many friends in my life. So thank you guys so much.
And you're working on plans, kind of, aren't you, for your big million over on Early American?
Yeah. When we have 1 million subscribers on Early American, that's our main channel, I'm going to make a special video. But I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Ron is going to eat 500 cupcakes for you.
No.
Thank you.
I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to keep any promises that it turns out I can't do it for one reason or another.
I like the suspensefulness.
But we will do something different once that day comes. When it'll come, I don't know.
Mud wrestling. No?
I would probably get a lot more subscribers, yeah, if they saw me mud wrestling. No.
Hog roast.
No, I don't think it's going to involve food, actually.
Jousting.
Maybe. Maybe.
What would you like to see?
Yeah, what would you guys like to see?
Keep it clean.
Right.
Not too dangerous.
They can be dangerous, that's okay.
Health insurance hasn't been invented yet.
True. Our health insurance usually just involves sticking various herbs up our nose.
Yeah, that
and
book up
leeches.
there, that's her go-to.
Right. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah.
Take care. We'll be here next week. Same time, same place, probably.
That's right.
We love you all. Thanks again for 50,000 subscribers.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah! Alfred's like, yeah! You can't see Mish, but she's back there and she's saying, yeah!
She's licking herself right now.
And she's saying, yeah! So anyway, thanks guys. Take care. Love
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.